While you're reading this disclaimer, don't forget to subscribe, tap that like button, and rub your screen like it's an ancient mystical lamp where a genie will pop out and grant you 3 wishes. Hey, and welcome back to another Trading Rewind. I'm going to be doing NASDAQ on Wednesday, August 7th here. I've rewound the clock to 9 a.m., which is, again, typically when I'm waking up. I'm waking up on 5:30 a.m. Pacific time this time of year, and in my time zone for the 9:30 a.m. open. So usually I've got my breakfast here. I'm setting up my order blocks. These yellow and red blocks are the 15 and 4 hour time block order blocks, and what that means is large sections of either buy or sell orders by the institutions are within these big blocks, which means that if the price goes down to this red area, chances are there's a lot of large institutions that will buy within these blocks because they're based upon time. Red will be 4 hours, 15-minute is the yellow one. The 4 hour block will have more weight than a 15-minute one because it represents more orders, more volume. So hopefully that makes some sense. But before we get too deep into any other training and stuff, I'm just going to kind of hit go on this and kind of tell you a little bit about what the heck I do. So again, starting it off at 9 a.m. Right now, we've already seen the price starting to trend up. It hit this order block, this 15-minute order block. So if I was actually awake during the London session, which, by the way, green is New York session, blue is the Tokyo, Australian session, and the red is the London session. And you'll see the green session for New York will start again here at around 9:30 right there. So if I was trading the London session, I would have set up a short somewhere around here, seeing especially it tapped here twice, created a new low here, came back up, tapped my indicator line. I would have wanted to get in somewhere around here. Now, I'm not counting any of this junk. I hate when people, honestly, when all these YouTube traders get on and they're like, oh, this is what I would have done, whatever. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So I'm not taking this with any, grain, or take it with a grain of salt here. But we're on NASDAQ. I'm going to just throw a 100 tick stop in here. I'm going to have another long here just ready for us to trade on. Oops. Pardon me. So again, looking for a 100 tick stop here for a buy or a 100 tick stop for a sell. If I had wanted to do a sell, I would have seen again this kind of come down, started a new low, came back up, didn't break any highs on this solid sell movement somewhere in here. This would have been a great position somewhere in here to get in. Yeah, let's say I just got in at the bottom of that right there. Now it came back. That particular candle actually came down and it tested the low, but it didn't. Break that high either. So, and knowing that I came off of an order block, I'm looking for a way to get in. We got a red pivot point. We've got a red cloud. We've got momentum in the downward direction. This is where I'd get in. Knowing that this went to around a 1-to-1 at this point here, I might have already set my take profit to break even or around 0.2 to make sure that I didn't get any of my fees. Basically, if it came back and hit my stop loss, any of my fees would have already been taken care of or whatever. The problem is that would have been about here. So I would have been stopped out pretty soon. So this would have been a zero trade. This would have been a completely break even. Would have gotten out of this. A lot of traders go, well, I would have just gotten out when it hit this low. I wouldn't have seen any reason that this was going to slow down and reverse and retest the order block again. But when I did see this, and the reason why I'm going over this, when I do see this at 9 a.m. right now, current time, 9 a.m., when I do see this retest the order block and start to come back down, I might have considered getting in again around here. Now, again, that could have, would have, should have, right? I'm not going to do any of that risky kind of stuff right here. I'm not going to say that I got in. I'm going to play from here on out. I'm not going to say this is what it was. This is what I would have done, definitely, based upon what I already see on the chart. Now, here comes the open, and this is another reason why I don't like to get in the pre-market too much, because we're going to see a whole bunch of volume happen right here as soon as we hit this white vertical line right here where it shows 9:30. You can see the time at the bottom of the screen here. So let's see what happens. It looks like we've come up. We're going to test this order block again now. If this doesn't break this high, it doesn't, come near our halfway of the order block. It doesn't even touch the top of the yellow. It doesn't even touch the red. I'm thinking this is going to reverse come back down. So again, we will see what happens. So again, still trending up. We didn't break this high yet. We're about to hit the open, so anything could happen here. Starting to test back down. Now let's see what craziness happens here in the next 1 minute. So down, up. Now we've hit a new high, so we've got definitely upward momentum. However, a lot of people, they get in, they don't have these order blocks drawn out. So they're like, oh my God, look at it spike. Let me get in a quick a buy. And then watch this. Let's see if this actually rejects here. It's still going. Cool. So in 2 minutes, if you had gotten in this buy at, looking for a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1-to-3, whatever. I usually look for 1-to-3s unless we're looking at the open here for high volume, big movements or whatever. Again, getting in, it's somewhere in here, fine. Even getting in at the end of that, at the close of that big candle up, super risky going into this order block. Again, I would not do this. Just being really clear. But if you're gambling and not trading, you see a hesitation. And look, it went into the order block, and you can't quite see it here, but the yellow order block overlaps with the red order block. You can see this little pinkish line right here. Maybe if I can, yeah. So you can see where the bottom of the order block is right here. So it came back up. It's retesting the bottom of the red order block and the top of the yellow order block. So I'm going to look for this either to now immediately start heading back up and retest this high. And then it may come back down like that. Now, if this comes, it's already kind of come back down. If it doesn't come back down to the bottom of this order block, or I should say, if it does come back down to the bottom of this order block in this next this next candle, I'd look for the bounce in this direction, right? So again, we retested the high. I think, is it going to retest this low here? Or is it going to retest this low here? Or is it going to retest this low here? Or did it just retest the low of the top and bottoms of these various order blocks? So again, like this is still very much like, where's the momentum headed here? And we're down. Now, didn't even quite tap that order block and already started heading back up. So we might have some consolidation, a little indecision here in the pricing. It says ugly, we're going back up to test the top. Let's see if we break this high. Now, I personally have a rule. Look at so these are huge volume candles, huge volatility. We're getting lots of wicks in all directions and stuff here. Wicks going up, wicks on the bottom side. Now, again, we've still got momentum up. Here's the problem. With my trading rules, actually, I'll leave that there for the hell of it. Which actually, I know I won't, because if you were gambling, if you weren't out immediately, you got stopped out here. So, one of my trading rules is I'm never going to buy going into a 4-hour order block here. I don't like it. It's very high risk and everything. So now, again, we've gone up. How are we going to test the middle of this order block or the top of the order block before potentially testing the bottom again? Let's see where it goes. We hit the middle, started to come back down. Tapped there. See, we're in indecision here. And it looks like the sellers, again, we don't break this high, this could be a little weak. We break the high. Oh. So again, we're past halfway into the order block. We haven't tested the top of the order block yet, but we're definitely past halfway. Which direction are we headed here? Testing the top again. Now, typically, I hit the button too fast. Typically, when you see it cross the indicator line, if we weren't in an order block, this might be a good place to get in and then see it potentially go back up. I would not do that. Would have got stopped out pretty quick right there. Could have been a -1 trade, could have been a break even, depending upon how quickly you were to exit. Now we're starting to see a lower low. This high has not broken that high, so we got a lower high. Are the buyers exhausted? See, again, guys, this is why I draw order blocks. If there's a high risk area for trading, if we're going to start to see this congestion, this consolidation in here, that's where we're going to see it, is within these order blocks, these big order blocks. Now they obviously it didn't go down yet, so that didn't happen. This didn't happen yet, although it could, because it could still retest the high and still head back down. So this is still kind of in play. I'll keep it there for now. But whoa, we shot down brand new low. Okay, so this did start to come true. Now at this point, because we've done this, where could it go from here? Well, it could come back up, retest this or this bottom of one of these two order blocks here. So it's going to come back up to either here or here, and then potentially shoot back down. Why do I think it's going to shoot back down? Adam, you got a green dot and a green cloud. You should be looking for buys, right? No, not in an order block. Okay, so now let's see one more. Does this continue to shoot back down? Is it going to test this bottom before it heads back up? What happens? Headed back up. We're getting halfway into the 15-minute order block. We're retesting the bottom of the 4-hour order block. Now, does it retest the top of here, or do we shoot back down? Starting to shoot back down. We got a red pivot. We're going to start to get a red cloud now. It's rejected. Now it's come back down to here. So now check this out. So look at, I mean, my arrow's a little off, but that's basically what ended up happening, was this there. So again, this tug of war is going to happen, and the price is typically going to stop in relatively predictable areas because of our order blocks. And the fact that this came down, look at where it stopped, right at the bottom. If I drew a line right now, this horizontal ray right here, that is a little mini 1-minute order block. And we got some buyers off of it, and it only went to the top of this right here. This buy candle, this green candle right here. Is this going to continue down? Not sure. Now, if this comes back up and pulls back, whether it touches the red line or it doesn't break this high, I'm going to be looking to set up a sell here really soon. Okay, so it did break this high, but we're not above this high yet. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we get some momentum downwards again. We do. Oh yeah, I mean, this is close. So again, I have 4 different types of strategies that I typically like to use here. I was trading off of my indicators. There's another one that I like here, which is, and I'll set this up. I'm just going to do this in blue. I think I did. Yeah, blue. When I start to see tight consolidation like this is where I get my express elevator strategy here. Now, we didn't hit newer lows here, but these highs are still moving down. So let me just see what happens the next minute or two. Now, again, we didn't break that high. Still didn't break this high. Definitely broke that high. So, again, I was looking for sells, but I didn't get in any confirmation candles. And now that we're breaking back up into our order block, I am not looking for any trades. Not looking for any trades. Now, some people might be like, well, there's support down here, Adam, if you had just done this. Yeah, but it could have reversed. I got momentum in the downward direction right now. Could have easily reversed on me, and that would have been a loss. But, Adam, you could have gotten a +3 right here. Way too risky. Again, I want high likelihood of a sell. So now if I start to see a lot of wicks in this area, I might start to sell off of this resistance right here. A lot of wicks. Solid candle down. Again, this is definitely on the gambling side. If you do this, you might want to do something with a higher amount of ticks, 200 ticks, instead of, just keep it around there, instead of that. Now, if it comes down and touches this line and bounces back up, so at this point, I don't like this that much. I might be wanting to get out of that. Like as soon as I said that, like I would have potentially gotten out, because again, I'm seeing wicks here. We're not doing higher highs, but this is just an ugly trade. So again, like came back down to retest this, would have been out. I would have set my my take profit for about here. I'll just call it somewhere in there. So that would have been again a break even trade, nothing special. And again, that's the thing when you're playing with all this consolidation. They're highly risky trades with very low reward, and I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan at all. And you might be like, well, Adam, just set a limit order with a smaller stop for like here, right? Like if you had done that, and again, if I zoom in a little bit here. The top of the buy, or the bottom of the first sell candle right here, that's about where we started to see a lot of the wicks, right? Started to see wicks here. So, I mean, you could have somewhere in here done a risky trade where, again, my stop loss, 100 ticks, stop loss is above these highs. I could have potentially gotten in any of these other little trades. And if I was doing 1-to-1s, 1-to-2, cool, quick little scalps. I don't like it. Again, I don't like it. It's too risky for me. I'm not a fan. If you're risking 1,000 a trade and you want to make 1,000 a day and you just do a 1-to-1, great, awesome. Not a huge deal. For me, I want to have something that can give me a little bit better of a return, something that's going to give me better odds. Imagine if you were like, okay, well, flip a coin. Half the times you win, half the times you lose. After fees and commissions and stuff, you're less than break even, right? So that's why I don't usually go for 1-to-1s. I'd rather roll a die and say, well, 4 out of 6 times or 5 out of 6 times, I'm going to, win 2 or 3-to-1. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing. So I'm looking for just tilting the odds in my favor as far as that goes. So that's why I'm looking for all these different confluences. Now, this is rare for me, like not to have placed a trade. This is the first 2 hours of a trading day here. Now, if I was more of a swing trader, this is something where like it would have been, okay, as soon as this touches within the order block, somewhere in here inside the red order block, could have been around here is where the red order block starts. Big stop loss like this. And then look for the low of the last session, maybe. So 1-to-2, maybe a 1-to-3, something like that. That could be a swing trade because we're coming off of a sell 4-hour order block. Again, not a huge fan of that, in my opinion. And that's something where like automated rule where like if you hit a 1-to-1 in it, it brings your stop loss to break even. Okay, fine. But, oh, jeez, what am I doing? Here I am not talking about what the heck we're doing. I'm just clicking go, 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 go. So we came back down. Now, again, I'm not going to say, oh, I would have got in this trade. Nope. But knowing that we just, all the momentum, all the buyers are gone. We came out of a big order block like this. And again, this would have been a pretty sweet trade. I'll leave that up in case you were doing a swing trade. This is something I could have easily set up before that. Again, I don't want to contradict myself. Don't want to be a hypocrite here and say, oh, this is why I hate YouTubers that show this is what I would have done. I just missed this entry because I was too busy talking and clicking. So I would have missed this entry in real life, right? So now that we're here, this has a pretty good chance of swinging back up. So I don't know if I would try and get in right here, especially because we're wicking already. This might come back and retest our indicator line, or it might even retest that order block. But let's see what we have here. Yep, retested back up. Let's see if it touches our indicator line. This might come halfway into that big candle. Let's see what happens. Now, if this follows our indicator line, this might be a good opportunity to get in. Again, you can't hit a home run or at least get on base unless you're coming up to bat swinging. So let's just assume I got in here. This could, again, completely go in the opposite direction. We'll see. See, now we're getting these lows are getting higher. Haven't gotten out of that yet, but so now according to my rules, I'm either going to lose a -1 on this next candle or I'm going to get out at break even. So again, according to my rules, I'm out of this trade at break even. I look for that, that 0.2 if possible to save my commissions and fees, but I'm out. So I'm just going to notate this here. This is going to be break even, a 0 trade as far as that goes. And then I'm going to just reuse my thing there. So now you may be like, well, Adam, you didn't get stopped out. I mean, you have almost another solid close below your line here. Yeah, but with all these higher lows, I'm not looking to necessarily get in quite yet. Now that retest back low might have gotten in here potentially. And that's the thing is like if I had gotten in here, or I should say gotten in here, that was the break-even trade. I could have stayed in it potentially, right? Just said, you know what? I'm still willing to risk that one trade, that one or whatever. So again, back in. Whoa, thank God. So that's awesome. So and I'm sorry, I'm not speaking through this. The reason that, again, I got in at this original trade is because we had a break below my indicator line. There's a solid candle down, would have gotten in. It started to pull back, and it even created a new high here. But again, this is in higher lows, still risky. But again, because we had a couple of candles in a row that were red sells, it came back down, started to retest. It went this high, but started to trend down during the same candle. Would have immediately hit the button as soon as we crossed the red line again to see what this would have done. And for the record, too, right now my stop loss would be set at about 0.2, somewhere in there. The first thing I would have looked at is if it beat this low. It did easily within a few seconds, whatever, within a minute or so of me getting in the trade. Did it break this low? Yeah, right in this next candle. Now, what about this low? Broke that as well. What about this low? The next candle. So within 2 minutes, we've broken all these lows. So now here is the real question. This is where managing the trade is a little bit different. So what else do we have here to look for in terms of confluences, in terms of targets? So this candle was the last downward candle before a big push up. So this is the 15-minute we would have been looking for. And look exactly where that stopped. That is crazy. So if I had already had gotten in this trade and then set my, of course it isn't there yet. But as you can tell, so when I look at the 15 minutes and zoom out, it shows it actually tap it, because that's like cheating. That's like me fast forwarding. So, but I drew that before. I drew it based upon this, not based upon where that went down. So hopefully you guys saw that, know that I'm not BSing you and cheating. Where did this price go down? Well, exactly what you saw, unfortunately, was I'd either have a 3-to-1 target like it already is at, basically around here, or I'd be looking to get out as soon as it hit a next major order block, a 15-minute order block. So again, setting my take profit here. Now, first trade of the day, I might just go for the 3-to-1 and I'm already basically out, right? But would have gotten out literally right there on the next trade. And actually, it didn't quite tap it. So this is why, setting your take profits a little bit before is even better. So it did not actually tap that yet. But at this point, I've now probably moved my stop loss to somewhere around here. Now, this could easily come back up and retest, take me out. Yep, would have taken me out right there for a 2.5-ish trade. So again, like, this is why it's good to set your take profits. That would have been a +4 right there. But I'm keeping it as my screw up. Is a 2.5. So are we going to come up and tap our indicator line again? We are. So, hey, I screwed up, but am I going to be able to potentially get back in this trade? Maybe. Now, again, I don't have a red candle down yet, right? So according to my rules, I shouldn't get in this. I might be tempted, though, because we're literally tapping the line right here. But see how it's momentum starting to slow? I want to see a red solid down. And thank God I didn't get in, because if I had gotten in, if I had been like, oh, I'm impatient, I want to wait, would have been taken out right there. Again, that's why we follow our rules. I also want you to think of time. We're between noon and 12:30. We're getting close to that 12:30 to 1:30 lunch break on the New York Exchange, right? So things can get a bit wonky in here too. Now we're starting to hit the indicator line, but we're tapping the top of it and going back up. So whether it was a +2.5 or a +4, glad we're out of this one. So now we're going to first test this top right here. It's testing it. So again, not breaking these lows, not breaking this high. Which direction are we headed in? Again, it's a nice solid close. Might be rushed to get this, right? Might be like, I'm going to get in, right? Nope, not going to get in until we see, another probably lower high. But I want to see us break these wicks. These wicks, people are just eating it up. Now, by the way, I'd be down on the 15-second time frame to try and see these confluences at this point. Momentum starting to stop. Not beating this high. Let's see now if it goes above that again. Yep, see? Kind of iffy. Now, I could have gotten in the middle of this candle right here on the way back down. Again, this is why I'm on the 15-second time frame. I can't go to the 15-second because I rewound during the 1-minute time frame, which is fine too. It's fine to trade on the 1 minute. Now, I'm hoping to get this down in terms of right here is what I would have said my take profit. The top of this green candle, the solid part of the candle, would have been a good take profit. I'd honestly set my take profit. A 3-to-1 is right around the same as retesting this order block right here. I don't think it's going to necessarily do that. This could pop back up and immediately take us out of this trade. And I should probably move my stop loss to around break even at this point too. Let's see what happens. Came right back down, touched the order block. Oops, don't do that. Got out of this trade at another 3-to-1. Now I'm expecting this to potentially go back up again to retest. So one or two things is going to happen here. Since we've already retested this and bounced back up, I am going to be looking for either a retest back up to my indicator line, which I can't move this while this is on there, and then it'll shoot back down to potentially retest this, hopefully go lower, right? So I'm looking for it to touch the indicator line on the way back up. Or we're going to continue low to the bottom of the order block, retest the top of the order block before continuing lower, right? So let's see which of these two potential scenarios we're looking at here. Looks like we're going back up, and my indicator line was a little high, but we're touching the indicator line and showing us going back down. Now, again, I wouldn't necessarily be looking for sells yet because we're going into this order block. We've hit a new low, right? Up, down. So this is what actually happened. Now, are both going to happen? Are we going to actually, come on, just moving this over. Are we going to hit the bottom of this order block, bounce back up to the top? I'm not looking for, see, halfway, bounce back up. Now we've retested the top. It didn't even touch the bottom, and it's retesting the top. If this breaks a new low here, and this and goes below this order block, I'd be looking for another sell. Woo, look at that. Tapped, look, almost like we drew a line there. God, indicators at work are awesome. So now we've gone back up. Now, like I said, we've now tested the bottom of this. Are we going to retest the top? Are we going to retest up halfway? More than likely, again, this did come true. We shot it down below. Now what could happen is we'll more than likely, again, I don't know if it'll pause. This might shoot down and we might not get a trade. But usually what will happen, it might continue a little lower, but we're going to retest the top of this order block and then come back down. Retested, immediately came back down. So seeing that it only wicked it, that is another entry. Right here. As soon as it broke this low, right there, that is your entry point. And this is why being on the 15-second to see all this momentum is really helpful in these cases. So again, went low, tapped the order block again, and started to head back down. We've still got a we've been in a red pivot, red cloud going down. On the bigger time frame, we're still in green, but the green is kind of teetering off on the bigger time frame cloud. And this is what I'd be looking for. Hopefully, we're going to come down here and get a plus 3.71 on this. Now, this could retest up here pretty quickly with all this momentum. If this doesn't break a low, oh, it broke a low. We're good. So now my stop loss has been moved to about here, just for the record. Coming back up, we're going to touch our indicator line. It might be like, oh, Adam, well, if you had gotten out here, you would have had a plus 2.5 again, maybe. But I might get stopped out and get back in again and get a plus 3, right? And I didn't know if we were going to stop here, right? I didn't see. I probably should have seen. Duh. So my mistake. What did I not draw in? This 15-minute order block right here. Where we stop, the halfway mark in that order block. Literally just blunk. Came back up. Looking to tap our indicator line, not break this high. And we're good with our stop loss. Oh, no. We're getting close. If it breaks this high, it's going to hit our stop loss and we're out. We're out. So again, this is a break-even trade, so I'm gonna write break-even again. BE. This is an exciting trading day right here. Like, oh, Adam, you should have set it to here. Should have, could have, right? If I had set my take profit, if I had drawn this properly, I would have gotten out with a 2.27 if I had drawn my order blocks properly in advance, but I didn't. So I'm just going to say break even. Again, not cheating. Not a loss, though, right? Now, if I see another red downward, I'm in, right? But no, we're coming back up to test the bottom of this order block again. I did it again. So red solid. Could have gotten in here. We're usually looking for, again, following my rules, we're looking for a red solid underneath here. It wicked it. We're wicked past. If we come back down to retest here, maybe. Yeah, see, again, wouldn't want to get in with a buy in the other direction. There's no way. So again, we broke a low, but there's so much. So we're seeing a lot of consolidation again. I'm not looking to get in this until I have a more definitive direction. Now, because we've gotten a lower high, lower high, lower high, hasn't broken that high yet. And that was a pretty solid slow momentum slowing candle. Let's see what happens. See, we're breaking back up green. So again, we're getting a little later in the day. Not a huge fan of either of these. I'm seeing consolidation and a lot of indecision. I'm seeing these highs start to go higher, but I'm seeing these lows go lower. I don't like to see this. I'd rather see the opposite direction where it looks more like that, where everything is going together. Why? Because that's typically when the buyers get exhausted and they start to sell again. And we're in a sell momentum. So could that stop? Could that slow us down? Maybe. But nope. Again, this is if I follow my rules. If I had gotten in here, would have had to have gotten out, or that would be a loss. That could be a -1. This getting in again during this solid close would have wanted to get in halfway down on this candle to retest these lows. Would have had to stay in. A little hairy on that there. But this is the one that's probably going to go to the bottom of this order block. It might retest the top, but this is the one that's probably going down to our 4 hour. But again, I didn't say get in, so I'm not cheating. There it goes, hits the 4 hour. Now, I know it's getting towards the end of the day, but is this going to reverse? It's not looking like it. We're still touching these order blocks. So again, just for the heck of it, if I had gotten in here, again, not counting this one towards my daily totals or anything like that, if I had gotten in this one, would I still be in? Yes. I'd have moved my stop loss to that high. I got a guaranteed 1.7 in there. And that's, again, if I didn't just set my take profit to be a 1.85 right at the top of that order block, right? Again, high chances that this is going to bounce up, getting into a 4 hour order block. And where did we stop? As soon as we tapped a 15-minute order block within the 4 hour, a double magnet, right? Now we're going way down. Halfway into this order block, we're kind of tapping. Now, again, if I was doing anything, we're getting towards the end of the day. Usually, if we have a lot of sells during the day, people are closing their short orders, which means that we're going to have buys basically in the other direction, right? With a 6.28, I'm probably out at this point, or at being realistic, because now I'm starting to see it bounce out at a 5.8. Ain't bad. That ain't bad right there. So could retest the top of the order block. It didn't. It's going to retest the bottom of this. Didn't win. Now it retested again. But again, like this one drop was within a minute. These are tough to catch. You got to be on the 15-second timer, or maybe less, the 5-second timer, which you can see I have in my favorites. Yep, and here comes the big buy off or whatever. So again, this would have been a really nice trade if I didn't catch it downward here and I had taken set my stop loss somewhere back here or here. I might have been able to stay in this trade and then catch the order close again right about that halfway mark in here. So again, it could have been a 5.4, I think I said. Could have been a 6.2. realistically, somewhere in here, like a 5.8-ish is pretty realistic as far as that goes in terms of like where to get out. Retesting the top, another push back down. If this wasn't this late in the day where I'm expecting a lot more buys, especially coming out of a 4-hour order block, I'm expecting buys. This would have been a good opportunity to potentially even get back in on its way back down. But here it heads probably back up as we get to the end of the day. No. Whoa, look at that. Another big sell-off. That is interesting. So a lot of hedge funds are still selling off. A lot of retail traders, I'm sure, too, looking for the bottom of this order block. And that is it. That is the end of the trading day right here, 4 p.m.-ish Eastern. And so this was a 5 point, we call it a 5.5 with after fees and stuff like that. This was a break even. This was a 3. Break even. I think, did I count this one? I don't think I was going to count that one. So I'm just going to let that be. Now, keep in mind, if I had set up this trade here, where it would sell from the bottom of the order block, the stop loss is above here, could have set this take profit to be at here, or I could have set it to be as soon as it hits or maybe a little bit before this order block. That would have been a nice 2.8 trade if I was just swing trading, right? Just trading before or between 4-hour order blocks. No stress, no looking for entries all damn day. Just being like, oh, is it going to tap our 4-hour order block? Chances are it's going to head down 1 to 3. Quick, done, called a day, right? So pretty good deal there. Again, not counting that. That's a swing trade. That's the something I could, you could set up potentially even the night before. Seeing here, again, came up, tapped the order block here, came back down already, retested the order block. Would have been in drawdown the first half the day, pretty deep drawdown on that trade, but would have been a nice plus. That's a good deal. So anyway, guys, if we add these up, just call it a couple of break evens plus 8.5. Yeah, I don't think I would have caught. I'm not going to count this one here. Even saying 8.5 for the day, if you risked $100, that is and actually, you know what? Some of these break evens might have been a minus 0.2. So I'm just going to call it an 8. Risk $100, you would have made 800. Risk $1,000, you would have made $8,000. It's a pretty solid day right there. So I hope you guys got something out of this, and we will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch you later.